What up, Bars Nation? Welcome back to another episode of the Dropping Bars podcast. My name is Kimron Corion, and today I have a very interesting one for you. You see, over the last couple weeks and days, I've been talking about marketing campaigns and posting content online about designing marketing campaigns and so. And I've had like an influx of questions through my DMs and emails of people asking me, different questions about developing marketing campaigns. And I've 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 been having the discussion about marketing campaigns with them on a one-on-one basis. And one of the persons that actually asked me about to kind of break down the concept of marketing campaign and how we can develop marketing campaigns is my good friend and colleague Lorna Dale Charles, also a friend of the Dropping Boss podcast. So I thought to myself, instead of having a one-on-one conversation or one-on-one session with her where we can discuss marketing campaigns, why don't I invite her back on the Dropping Bars podcast where she can ask me her questions here, and the response I give, the Bars Nation and everybody who's interested in marketing campaigns can benefit from it. So, Lorna Dale, welcome back to Dropping Bars.
Thank you, Kimra, and thank you for having me in, and thank you for taking the time to really answer my questions. I know I had a lot, and probably it was getting to you, so you thought, okay, you just answer for everyone, right?
Well, the thing is, I mean, I might as well as a lot other people had the same question, so you know.
Right. All right. So I guess I'll start, right? One of the
Yeah,
things
let's
that
let's
I
jump right
wanted
in.
to know, I have worked in marketing in the past, and I noticed there's I guess with the influx of social media and the digital era, there's a lot of things that's different. But one of the things that I wanted to know is, what is the difference between a marketing campaign and a marketing strategy? Because you focus a lot on the strategy and the strategy and the strategy. Just tell us the difference. I guess we probably doing it, but we are not thinking of it in probably the way you might explain it to us. So tell us, what's the difference between a marketing campaign and the marketing strategy?
Okay, that's a really good place to start. That's a really good question, and it's one in all the time I'm talking about marketing campaigns, marketing strategy. I don't think I've ever outlined the difference between both of them, and I know some people tend to use them interchangeably, but
Right.
they're two different concepts. As a matter of fact, a marketing campaign is a subset or a part of your marketing strategy. So let's break it down a little bit. Now, your marketing strategy is a comprehensive and long term plan that outlines the overall approach and the objectives that a company will follow to achieve its business goals and to create a sustainable competitive advantage in the market. Right. So it is a well thought out roadmap that will guide all of your company's marketing efforts. Now, there are different components of your marketing strategy, and those could include identifying your target market, analyzing the market and competition, setting clear marketing objectives, defining your value proposition, looking at your key marketing mix, the famous 4Ps: product, price, place, promotion, and those that will help in achieving the objectives. And generally, when we're looking at the time frame, a marketing strategy is developed for like a long-term period, whether it's 1 year or more, and it serves as a guide for the company's marketing activities during that time, and it focuses on the overall direction and goals of your marketing efforts or of the marketing efforts of the company. So it's really about what needs to be achieved and why. Now, a campaign, however, is different. A marketing campaign, on the other hand, is a specific, focused, and short term initiative that is designed to achieve a specific goal or a particular goal within a time frame. And like I said at the beginning, it is a subset of the marketing strategy, and it includes a series of coordinated activities or tactics across, various channels, whether you're looking at online or offline channels like a social media and so, and that is used to promote a product, a service, or a message. So when we're looking at the component of your marketing campaigns, we're looking at, the creative message, the channels to be used, the budget that you have for the campaign, the target audience for the campaign, the metrics that you're going to use to measure the success of your campaign. And that's one of the things that I think that we don't do a lot is measure the success of our activities, our marketing activities. And then the time frame for the marketing campaign is usually a short to medium term, right? So it's not like a long term, like a strategy. The campaign is usually, a short to medium term period, and that could range from a couple of weeks to a couple of months. And the focus of your marketing campaign is more tactical and operational as it relates to your marketing effort. So it is about how to achieve the specific objectives that you have outlined in your marketing strategy. So that's kind of the big difference between the marketing campaign and the marketing strategy. The campaign is more short term, and it is a subset or a part of your overall marketing strategy. I hope that kind of clarifies it a little bit.
Definitely, absolutely, it has, and it sort of sparked another question in my mind. Now, I didn't ask you that previously, so I hope I'm not taking you off guard. I know you've worked in the hospitality industry, and at that time, you did produce a lot of campaigns, right? So, of all the campaigns that you have done during that period, which would you say is your favorite? Because I can tell that there was some serious strategy into those campaigns. So, which one or ones are your favorites?
Yeah. You catch me with that question, eh?
No,
So yeah,
it
so
just popped in my mind as you break it down. It sort of makes sense because now that you say it in retrospect, there were a few campaigns that came out. Like you say, it has to be impactful, and it comes out in very short period of times. And yeah, I just had a recollection, so I thought I'll ask that question.
okay. No, great. No, but that's a good question, anyways. So yeah, so I was the communication manager at the Grenada Tourism Authority, and we did do a number of campaigns. As a matter of fact, in the last, let's say, during the COVID period, from the start of COVID to, I don't want to say the end because we still have COVID on now, but from the time we went to lockdown to the time that we reopened the country, I would say we did about 4 campaigns. And you asked me for my favorite. I have, I think, 2, actually 3. I want to mention 3 campaigns that really during that time that I would say I'm really proud of. The first one is a campaign that we did called Grenada Dreaming, and that campaign was at the beginning of COVID, and the idea behind it was to keep Grenada top of mind to people because nobody was traveling, planes were not flying, and but people still had that desire to travel, and we know that once people were able to travel again, once COVID kind of eased up a little bit, people will be traveling, and they will be traveling to the destinations that were top of mind for them, unless it's somewhere that they really wanted to go. The ones that they will go to are the ones that remain top of mind. So we didn't want to be left behind. Grenada couldn't be left behind, whereby people are thinking about travel and they're not thinking about Grenada. So we had a campaign called Grenada Dreaming, and like I said, that campaign was designed to ensure that Grenada remained top of mind. And that was a multi-platform campaign. We engaged influencers with social media. We did paid ads. It was a really good campaign, and we engaged like a lot of our stakeholders. Really got everybody involved in that campaign. We had a lot of user generated content coming from the Grenadian community itself. So that was really good. And that campaign, as a matter of fact, was recognized by Rough Guides in the UK as one of the top campaigns in the world at that time. So that was one of my favorite. So the next campaign that really I really loved was a campaign called Paradise at Home, and I I'm pretty sure you would have heard about or seen this campaign. And Paradise at Home was our staycation campaign, because at that time in Grenada, the airport was still, I guess you can say, closed off, so no planes were coming in. However, the within the country, people were free to move around. I mean, I think there were COVID and so sorry, not COVID, but there were curfew around that time still, but people were free to move around. So in order to help spur economic activities within the country, we launched a campaign called Paradise at Home, and was really to encourage Grenadians to explore the island and become tourists on their own island. And that campaign went crazy. We had a lot of our local stakeholders involved in it. People were providing discounts and so, and the hotels, the tour operators, the some of the attractions and so. People were like going around the country. People were traveling to Carrick-on, Martinique. I mean, that campaign just took off. I think that's another one of my favorite. And I think the other one for me is one called Grenada Rocks, which was the last campaign before I officially resigned from the position and traveled. So that one was Grenada Rocks, and that I actually see that campaign. I can see elements of it still today, because during the recently concluded Spice Mass, I saw the Carnival Queens. They were all rocking their Grenada Rocks t-shirts. I saw the Prime Minister was wearing his Grenada Rocks t-shirts, his Grenada Rocks t-shirt during Juve morning. I even saw something where like influencers came in and some other people came into the country, and they were gifted with Grenada Rocks bags. So I felt really proud seeing that Grenada Rocks is still alive and kicking. So those are like my favorite campaigns that we did during my time as communication manager in the GTA. So yeah, those are like my favorite campaigns.
Okay, so you have multiple. All right. So it appears that there really needs to be a strategy, right? Now I want you to take us through the steps that involves creating that marketing or campaign strategy.
So 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 sometimes when we say like a strategy or campaign, just as sometimes it's used interchangeably, right?
Changeably, right.
Like a campaign strategy, but it shouldn't be. So we can say we should say our marketing strategy or our marketing campaign, because the campaign is a part of the strategy.
Part of the
and
strategy. Okay.
and yes, and there are some steps that I follow, not strictly to a T, but loosely, because as you know, every campaign is a little bit different, and there are certain things that certain things that you may or may not do when you based on the campaign that you're doing, and then again some steps in the process sometimes they get smudged together. And let me just go back a little bit and say that the campaign, the campaign plan,
Mhm.
the outline that I use to design my campaign is something that I started developing during my masters, when I was doing my masters in then Ryerson University, now Toronto Metropolitan University. I actually
Right.
for my major research paper, I actually developed a campaign, outline an entire a process for outlining digital and overall marketing campaign, and that outline that I actually developed for campaigns is what I've been using to this day. Obviously, as time progressed, I would have
You have to tweak a little.
work on it and tweak it and make it a little bit more robust. And
Okay.
additionally, like doing different training, looking at YouTube videos, getting involved in like different marketing training and so on and so forth. I did my postgraduate diploma in digital business, and just actually doing the actual work. I would have taken different elements of different places and actually put everything back together to actually make it a little bit more robust. So what I'm
Got
going to
you.
share with you, is I will say the outline the that I follow, um create my campaigns. And the first step is defining the campaign goal, right? So I mean, we must start with a goal and to determine one main focus. So with a campaign, we shouldn't be trying to accomplish multiple things with one campaign. We should have each campaign should have one main focus. You could try to do multiple things within your strategy, but your campaign should have one main focus, right? So what do you want to achieve with this campaign? Is it brand awareness? Are you trying to generate sales? Are you trying to get leads for your business? Right? Are you trying to launch a product or a service? Like what is it that you want to accomplish with this campaign? So what we're doing is we are going to begin with the end in mind. So you ask yourself, okay, at the end of this campaign in 3 months or 6 months or 3 weeks, what would I have achieved? So you begin with the end in mind to ensure that success. So that's the first step that we need to go through when we are working on building out our plan for our campaign. Now the next step is, once we know exactly what we want to do, then we want to know who we are targeting with our campaign. So we want to identify our target audience and the stage that person is in. So the stage that our target audience is in on the marketing funnel, right? So identify your target audience and the stage of the marketing funnel that you want to accomplish. And understand, now here's the thing: understanding your target audience is key to crafting a compelling campaign, because the campaign needs to speak to their needs, their interests. So if you don't know who you are targeting, then it becomes difficult for you to target them, because you might put a campaign out there, it's not really speaking to anybody, and then it falls flat. And many times we take this step for granted, because it's almost something where no matter where you go, everybody's always talking. When you're creating a marketing strategy, a campaign, no matter what you're creating, a business strategy, everybody's always saying, oh, identify your target audience, identify your demographics, psychographic factors about them. And people tend to take that for granted. And as cliche as it might seem, or it might sound, that is one of the most integral steps when we are designing our campaign. And not just a campaign, but a strategy, whether it's a business marketing strategy or anything. You have to know exactly who you're targeting. Now, the next step that we have to go through is we want to decide on our call to action and offer it to the audience. So, what action do you want your target audience to take? And that's one of the things that we sometimes forget about. We do a campaign, we put something out there, and we don't tell the people what we want them to do. So we want to offer some kind of valuable, incentive that aligns with the campaign goal to entice your target audience to take that desired action. Is the action you want them to buy something? Then tell them. Do you want them to sign up for something? Then tell them. Right? So what is the call to action? And if a campaign don't have a call to action, then something is wrong. So that's the next step. Now, the fourth step, and that is something especially for existing businesses that actually have existing content, that you would have created content in the past. The fourth step is to conduct a content audit to see what existing content that you have that can be reused. So recycling and repurposing content actually saves time and resources while maintaining consistency and maximizing impact. Now, let me give you a story. I mentioned to you before that one of my favorite campaigns was a campaign called Grenada Dreaming. And Grenada Dreaming, like I said to you, was one of the first campaigns that we did on the onset of COVID-19. But guess what? We did not shoot any new content for that campaign, and that was one
Elaborate.
and that was
Elaborate. Because we were
so
all on lockdown,
right.
right?
We were all
Mm-hmm.
exactly. So we did not shoot any new campaign. So what we did is follow exactly what this step here is saying, where it says conduct a content audit to see what content that you have that can be reused. That's exactly what we did. So we would have created a lot of content in the past. So we actually went back and look at all the content that we did in the past, and we took those and we repurposed them. And that is what we use to launch our campaign. And that was one of our most successful campaigns. We did not shoot any new campaign. As a matter of fact, when we actually reached out to influencers that would have been to Grenada before, because at that time we were not bringing in anybody. Those same influencers, what they did, they also went and looked at the content that they created in the past when they came to Grenada before, and they repurposed the same content and put it out as well.
Got you.
So this step here is a very important step. You don't always have to go and create a whole set of new content. Look at what you have, do an audit, and see if there's anything that can be repurposed. Literally, our Grenada Dreaming, we repurpose a lot of the content. Well, all of the content for that matter. We didn't shoot anything new. Now, the next step that we want to look at is to do some research into our keywords. So research some keywords to understand, how is your audience searching for your topic, and this helps to ensure that your campaign is optimized for search, for SEO, search engine optimization, right? We want to make sure that our campaign is search engine optimized, so that when somebody is searching for whatever it is online, whether it's in Google or wherever, that our campaign and whatever we're trying to accomplish, it pops up and people can actually connect with us. So we have to look at what are the keywords that people are using. So let's say you're launching on your product, right? So you want to look at when people are searching for that particular product online. What are some of the keywords that they use to search? Do they search best Bluetooth speakers in the country? Is that what they're searching for? If that is what they're searching for, then you need to use those keywords in your campaign as well. So when you're trying to optimize for search engine for search, right? So that's important to identify the keywords. Now, the next step is to identify a creative concept or a theme for the campaign. And this one is very important. Remember I said to you, our campaign, we had Grenada Dreaming, we had Grenada Rocks, we had Paradise at Home, right? So we came up with creative concepts and themes for the campaign, and a compelling and a captivating concept will make a campaign more memorable, and it will help to increase engagement. So we have to get creative, and we have to think outside the box on this one. So what is the theme for the campaign? What is the concept? And that is very different. So for example, some companies, they will have, let's say, a slogan or a tagline. They might have they will have their logos and so.
Right.
No, that is not what we're looking at here, because I know for some people, when we're talking about like the creative concept on the theme and so, sometimes they might think, okay, well our tagline is XYZ, and they think we can just use that. No, that is not what we're talking about here. A campaign is not your slogan.
Got it.
It's not your logo. As a matter of fact, every campaign that we created, that we developed, we had a, for lack of a better word, I'm going to say, logo created for that campaign. So if you look at, for example, the Grenada Rocks campaign, which is the last one, we had a Grenada Rocks logo created, and that's what's on all the like t-shirts, that's on the bags, that's all there right now. So we have to get creative, and we have to think outside the box. The next step that we must pay attention to is timeline. right? So we must create timelines, and we have to allocate resources, and that's also our human resource, our team members. We have to allocate that effectively. So planning is important now for the smooth and the effective execution of your campaign. So what is the timelines? So when do you want to get certain things done? So we need to get this done. We need to have our concept created by this date. We need to have this done by that date. We need to have our assets created by this date. Kimron, you're responsible for this. Dale, you're responsible for that. Right. So that will actually help with a smooth execution. And then we want to map out, um on your campaign, like the have a calendar where you will, assign the different tasks to everybody. Kimron, that's yours. Dale, that's yours, and make sure that everybody is on board. And then the next step, and that's something that sometimes I see people tend to forget. I don't know why, but we must plan our distribution. We have to have a distribution strategy, which includes the channels. So, which channels do we want to be on? Do we want to be on offline and online channels? Are we going to be on Facebook? Are we gonna be on do display? Are we gonna be on the offline channels such as newspaper? Are we gonna be on TV, radio, whatever? We have to identify which channels, and that also includes paid ads. Are we going to run ads on Facebook? Are we going to run ads on radio? Are we going to run ads on TV? Are we going to run ads on Instagram? Are we going to run ads on TikTok? Are we going to do display advertising through Google? Are we going to look at some other alternative ad networks online? Right? Are we gonna look at some other maybe media entity that actually have a large audience, a newsletter or whatever that we're gonna put our ads in? So we want to look at all that. So that is where you're gonna plan out your overall distribution strategy, because sometimes we don't plan that, and then somebody will say, well, we could just we create the assets, the content, and somebody might say, well, we can just maybe we can put it on Facebook, and we could put it on maybe we could put it on TV too. Like, and people just thinking, no, because the reason why we have to plan it, our distribution strategy and the channels, is because we have to create content for the channels, not create content and then try to adapt them to the channels.
Got it.
Right, so we have to create content for the channel. So if you're gonna be on TikTok, then you have to create the type of videos that will fit on TikTok, not create any random video and then try to fit it on TikTok. Right, so having a distribution strategy is very important, right? We must define where and how we will effectively promote our campaign and reach our target audience. And then the final step that I normally go through is to create the editorial calendar to schedule the content release. So we know, okay, well, we have our content, we have everything in place, we have everything ready. Now we are gonna we're gonna be posted on Facebook, we're gonna be posted on Instagram, we're gonna have something on TV, and we know this is the editorial calendar, which outlines this schedule that we are gonna use to put our content out there, and to ensure that our campaign is successful. Now, consistency is key, right? So we have to plan, when and what type of content that we want to publish to keep our audience engaged throughout the campaign. And that's another thing that we have to pay particular attention to, because sometimes what I've seen in the past is people might they say, okay, we launch a campaign. They launch a campaign today, and they put out a video today, and then that's it. That's it. We don't see anything. We don't see any new content coming out under the banner of the campaign. We don't see anything. All right, so we have to be consistent, and we have to keep publishing content under the campaign. And when I speak about content, I'm not just speaking about online content. I know in my expertise is digital, but we're talking about the overall marketing campaigns here now, and we can use a host of different distribution channels, as I spoke about when I spoke about having your distribution, your distribution plan, having your distribution plan for getting your content out there. So plan what type of content that you want to put out there, to ensure that you'll have your audience engaged throughout the campaign. So those are like the general steps. And well, I would say the other step that we normally do that is will be to you have to optimize, you have to measure and optimize your campaign, because so we want to make sure that it's working, right? So we want to measure it, see what's working, see what's not working, see if we need to fix anything, if you want to change anything, and then we optimize it to keep it going. And then at the end of the campaign, we have to take a look to see what worked, what didn't work, what could we have done better, what was the result, did we achieve the objective that we set, and so on and so forth. Now, if the campaign didn't achieve its objective, we want to look at, okay, why did it not achieve its objective, and what can we do better next time around? If it did achieve its objective, if it did, we want to look at, okay, what worked really well, so we can apply that to our next campaign. And that's pretty much the steps that one will go through. Well, that's what I do. That's a step that I go through when designing and executing my campaigns, and I will encourage other people to follow through, if not the same, but a similar process, right? But at the end of the day, that works for me. I don't know if it's good. I don't know if other people have their own way of doing things, but that's what worked for me.
While you were talking and going through the different stages, something that popped in my mind is that of I know some companies, they have their marketing department, right? And they think, okay, marketing is responsible for everything that you're doing or everything that you listed here, right? In terms of the, let's say, a digital, because the onset of social media marketing has changed. When I worked in marketing, it was basically the traditional way of marketing: radio, TV, newspaper. So yes, in my role, then I would cover all these things. I think for my observation, what I'm seeing is some companies are still kind of sticking to that traditional, and they may post something here on Facebook, like they don't understand the audience, as you said. Because I remember there was one major, I don't know if to call it a campaign, or I didn't have the name for it at the time, but we were doing this big marketing thing, because we didn't call it campaign at the time, and we knew what the purpose was, to increase sale of that particular product, right? So we did the research, and research is so key, because we knew who we wanted to target, right? And how we were going to, and the end goal, as you said, was to increase sales of that particular product, right? So I mean, I don't think the steps have changed. You just have to, with the onset of social media, I think we have a broader scope in doing it, and so most people are on social media, so you need to know where your target audience are. I suppose that is what I'm saying. And so if your target audience is on, let's say, Facebook or Twitter or TikTok, as you say, one need to create that particular content. It may seem like a lot of work. It might be, I guess, for the person, the marketing person, if you're not, let's say, a digital person, to use social media, but my question is, would you have a traditional marketer in a company? Let's say I have this multi-million-dollar company and I have multiple products. Would I continue with the traditional marketing and expect the marketing executive or the marketing team to do everything there, or would you get a social media, somebody like you, a social media strategist, to create those campaigns? My final question to you.
So what I will say about that is, it depends on the organization. It depends on the target audience. It depends on who they're going after. What we have to pay attention is the ultimate asset in today's world of marketing is attention. So, or consumer's attention. So we want to look at, okay, where is the consumer attention right now? So if the consumer attention is on social media, then we definitely need to have somebody within the organization responsible for executing a social media strategy on behalf of the company. Now, if you have people within the company that were versed in traditional marketing, and they're not up to speed on digital marketing, then one, you could either hire somebody to come in and play the role of a digital marketer, or you can have your team trained in digital marketing. So you can have the existing team trained in digital marketing. I know, for example, I sometimes go into organization and train and build capacity within the existing teams on all things social and digital. So you can have that done. Um, and or if you don't wanna like maybe hire a staff, you can hire, let's say, a digital marketing company and an agency that you can outsource that to, and that's a lot, and again, a lot of companies do that. So they have their marketing department, but then they will outsource the digital marketing or the social media marketing to a digital marketing company, a digital marketing contractor, consultant, and that person or that company will be responsible for handling everything where social media marketing or digital marketing is concerned. Now, something I want to say here is that posting is not marketing, because
Right.
I've seen situations where, you know, social media marketers or digital marketers, they will create content, they will post the content, and that's where that's where the service, the extent of it ends. But marketing is not just posting. So there's a whole slew of things that goes into social media marketing, and that's a whole other conversation there by itself. But kind of going back to the question that you asked, I will say is they can build capacity within the team. They can outsource the service of somebody doing the digital or the social media marketing for them, or they can hire somebody to be dedicated to that. But what I will say is, today, in today's digital landscape, I believe every company should have a digital marketer, because the attention today is on one of the many social media platforms. Now, I'm not going to say social media is the end all and be all. I still think that the most effective form of marketing is word of mouth, and
Word of mouth.
word of mouth happens mainly offline, right? So, I mean, so I'm not gonna sit here and say, well, social media is the end all and be all. But what I will say is that there's a lot of attention in the social media space now. So companies should be looking to invest in social media marketing, or at least have somebody on the team who understands social media marketing that could execute, or if they're not going to do that, at least outsource their social media marketing.
Well, thank you. I mean, I have lots more questions, as you know, Kimra, but our time, I guess, through the scope of the dropping bars, I would have to stop here for today.
Yeah.
And I suppose you would answer the other questions with the other people who listen and follow you on social media. You would probably answer them offline, and I guess I could always jump in again and ask you a few more questions offline as well. So thank you for having me, and thank you for answering some of my questions.
No, that was great. Thank you so much, and thank you for agreeing to come on dropping bars and ask your questions here. Because I really thought, I really think that, you know, the discussion that we started having, I really believed that many people can benefit from that discussion. Many people can benefit
Right.
from at least what I had to share based on my experience, and I just thought that, you know, I do dropping bars every week anyways, so I might as well as just, you know, kill two birds with one stone. Answer your questions, do dropping bars, and provide value to the dropping bars community as well, those who are interested in that type of thing, in marketing campaigns and so thank you so much for coming on. Thank you for being a good sport, Bars Nation. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Dropping Bars podcast. I am your host, Kimron Corion, and see you next week when we are going to have another great discussion again. So thank you everyone for tuning in, and I will see you next week. Don't forget to subscribe to Dropping Bars wherever you're consuming this, whether it's on Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, Spotify, YouTube, wherever, Amazon, wherever you're consuming this. Don't forget to subscribe. So thank you, and I will see you next week. Bye bye.